My name is Ty Scurry. I am the director and owner of the Family Music Center in Hamden. And I'm extremely excited to be here. I really decided to come on the podcast because I looked through some of the previous ones, and I feel like this is a really good platform to be on. I feel like it's very genuine and very pure.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I know from your website that you say music, this is where you come to have fun learning about music. So why don't you give us an idea, talk a little bit about that? What is fun? How do you make learning music big fun for kids?
Yeah, that's one of the things I pride myself on here at the Family Music Center. When I was going to school and when I was in, music classes, um, it wasn't really fun. The teachers, they tried to make it fun, but it's hard to, individually make something fun for 20 different students. So what we do here at the Family Music Center, in our individualized classes is we specifically pinpoint what our students' interests are, while aligning that with what they have to learn. So if our student is a fan of, pop music, we make sure we integrate pop music into what they're learning, whether it's scales, whether they're learning a new piece, whether, they're beginning to learn how to read music. We make sure we integrate those little things into what they're learning so that they feel like we also care, because we do care at the end of the day. It's also, not as much about, being so hard on the kids. We understand that every child has different learning habits. Some are visual, some are audio learners. So I have some students that, I rarely talk in our lessons. They're mostly just listening to what I'm playing. And then, I'm giving them direction on how to do that while reading music. Other students, they learn totally different. So it's all about pinpointing what our students' interests are and what their strengths are, and catering to that.
When you're talking to these young kids, what is their favorite instrument? What is the instrument that they want to pick up and go for it, so to speak?
It all depends. Right now, piano and drums are two most popular right now. As the summer's beginning to come in, we're starting to get an influx of guitar students, surprisingly.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's one. But definitely our three main instruments that are very popular right now are guitar, um, drums, and piano.
And is there a specific music that they groove to? Is it more pop, more jazz? Do you have any coming in? They want to learn the classics, so to speak, or
Uh,
what
a
is it
lot of
that
my
they're? Go
Yeah, a lot
ahead.
of students, they're a mix a little bit of everything. I have a 5-year-old who is absolutely in love with jazz. But it's he likes tribal jazz, and playing guitar riffs to tribal jazz. So I do that with him. I have another student that loves, R&B and, hip hop. So we include some stuff of hip hop with that. I also have a classical student who, just strictly wants to play classical music. So we cater to that. So it's a plethora of different students that like different types of genres of music.
Now, you yourself are quite accomplished, and there.
Thank
Well,
you.
I mean, it's true. There's a reason why you're heading this school of music here.
Yeah,
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're qualified to pass on your lessons to these young kids?
yeah. So I grew up in a very small town, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Until about the age of 9, I moved to Connecticut. I moved to New Haven, and I've been here ever since. I started playing the drums at the age of 2. At the age of 9, I picked up the guitar, and at the age of 10, I picked up the piano. When I got to middle school, I began acting, and I became very good at it. And I've always been, singing weaved in through my early childhood years. My grandfather was in a gospel music group that traveled along the Northeast, so I always traveled with him and sang with him. So singing was also weaved through that. But
Mhm.
when I got to Connecticut, I found out that I had a love for acting, more specifically musical theater. So I took that up very heavy up until high school. And then in high school, I did musical theater and band, where I made the decision I wanted to be a band director. And in order to be a band director, you have to be able to play mostly every instrument proficiently. So I began teaching myself how to play almost every instrument that I could, so that I can be able to play proficiently. And then hence here, now I am the director of the dramatic arts department at James Hillhouse High School, the academic theater company. And I can't wait to put on our show next year. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm looking forward to it. And I am the director of the Family Music Center in Homer here.
Cool. Like I said, you're very accomplished.
Thank
And
you.
for these young people, do they have goals when they come to you, or are they doing it for fun, or do they want to be musicians, actors, and be in the arts in some kind of capacity?
I usually give my students goals. When they first come in, I ask them, what do you want to get out of this? Why are we here? Because usually if they're just doing it for fun, in about a month and a half, they're going to be bored and they're going to leave. So I always ask my students, what do you want to get out of this? Are you looking to read music better? Are you looking to be a better musician? Are you looking to be a better all-around artist? Are you looking to be able to, if you're an actor, are you looking to, get your monologues down better? Are you looking to be able to portray your characters better? What is it that you're really looking for? So that while, we're weaving you through this curriculum, what can we specifically concentrate on to make you the best artist that you can be?
Now, I noticed that since I've been to school, which is quite a while, I admit, but since I've been to school, I've noticed that over the years, much of the funding for arts and art programs have been cut dramatically, really.
Yeah,
And that leaves a lot of kids, particularly low income kids, out of the loop. Um,
definitely.
where do you fit in there? Are you able to kind of bridge some kind of gap there for these low income kids?
Yeah, that's specifically our market here at the Family Music Center. I always say we're the art school for everyone, but most importantly, we're the art school for the kids and the community that doesn't necessarily have the means or necessarily the know-how to be able to get these types of classes, these types of lessons, these types of programs. When I grew up, low income kid, free/reduced lunch, and if I didn't go to an LW Beecher or a Wilbur Cross, I wouldn't have had the exposure that I had to the arts the way that I did. I was lucky to have an amazing director, Salvatore DeLucia, that came into a really broken program at that time and really built it up into what is becoming a powerhouse in the dramatic arts in high school in New Haven at this point. So I was very blessed, and I really wanted to pass on what he gave me to the rest of my community, so that they can see that there is another way. There is something out there for you arts kids, you rappers, you singers, you
Hmm.
dancers. You need an outlet that you don't necessarily have the means or the funds. There's something for you. And it's not going to make you think, well, do I have to pay my rent or am I going to pay, for dance lessons?
Well, when I was a kid, and I'm wondering if this is still true, I'm assuming it is, but you would know better than me. We wanted to be the Supremes, the Temptations, the Four Tops. We
Yeah,
wanted to, we just wanted to be a big musical group. Is that still the dream of kids of
yeah,
these days, to be the big rap star maybe, or to be the
yeah.
big Broadway star? Do they still dream like that?
Yeah, that's definitely the dream. And I hate to say it, but I really shut down that dream. Um,
Really?
I,
Why?
I so when it comes down to becoming an artist, when I bring students into my school, I always say, who are you? I don't want you to be the next Beyonce. Because if you're the next Beyonce, then you're going to have exactly what Beyonce has. I want you to have better. I want you to have exactly what's for you. So when I bring in students, particularly my voice students, I always say, okay, what is your sound? I know what you want to sound like, but what does your sound like? Because trying to sound like somebody else might hurt you in the long run because that's not what your voice is built
Now you have something coming up soon. I believe it's soon, and it's a musical event where you get kids together. Can you talk about that a little bit? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, so we will be unveiling our Elm City Soulful Sound Machine very,
Right.
very soon.
That's it.
So that will be our community marching band. Um, from I want to say we start for the band ages 13 and we go all the way up to 23. So college students are more than welcome to join as well if your college doesn't have a marching band. But the main focus of that was there's a lot of talented kids that really want to go to college for band, to do music. And what I learned is that I didn't necessarily have the tools that I needed to be able to do what I needed to do in college. And it wasn't more so that I didn't have the teaching element. I had the technical element. But as far as marching band wise, we have a lot of students in New Haven that go to HBCUs, and we don't really teach that type of style, that type of culture, that type of learning here in the Northeast. So especially here in New Haven. So it was my job. I felt that it was my job to bring that to New Haven. I do have a lot of friends that attended HBCUs. I've studied HBCUs for probably the last 10 years now. So it's really been a work in progress. And I'm glad to be unveiling it. We'll be having auditions this Saturday. We'll be putting out a flyer today, for our first round of auditions. And everyone that auditions is a part of the band program. Nobody gets turned away, no matter your skill, no matter how you play. An audition is really to see where you are, so that we know where to put you in our band program, because our band program isn't just learning marching technique, learning songs, playing at performances. You also get one-on-one teaching with a music expert that plays your instrument, as well as in-depth knowledge about what you are doing. So it's really creating a culture of music, of intensified HBCU culture of band, in New Haven.
Well, let me ask you, how many people do you expect? And once you get all of this together, is there going to be a performance that we, the public, can see? Is
Yes.
that the way it's going to work? Okay. So tell us,
Yes.
okay, talk to us
So
about that.
we're thinking, in the beginning we're thinking about 60 students, and that's on the small end. We had projections of about 120 students in our band program, by next fall. But for this year we're projecting about 60 students, dancers and band included. And we will have a band camp starting in July. After auditions this month, and next month we will have auditions for our band, our drum line, and our dance team. And then we'll start band camp in July. And at the end of band camp, we'll have what we call our crank up session, which is basically a showcase of what we've been doing since band camp until now. We have a plethora of performances also lined up, not only in Connecticut, but in the Northeast. We have performances in Rhode Island lined up. We have performances in Delaware lined up. We have performances in Virginia lined up already for the first 3 months of our existence, and the band isn't even created yet.
Right. Yeah, that sounds pretty exciting, man. I'm sure you're very excited about it.
Oh yeah, I'm extremely excited. It's always been a dream of mine to be a band director. And so when I was, offered the opportunity and the idea came into my head, I jumped at it. I jumped at it.
Well, for those who want to join or get more information, or or become a participant, how do they do that?
You can simply go to familymusiccenter.org. That is our website. And at the top, you'll see the Elm City Soulful Sound Machine tab. Click that tab and go to our How to Join page, and that'll give you all the information you need to join our band.
It sounds good to me. Now, is there anything else that you guys are doing that you want to highlight here?
We'll definitely be unveiling a bunch of other different programs. We're thinking about doing a summer camp this year for youth actors, young actors, in middle school and high school, where they'll create their own show, and then perform that show at the end of their camp. So if they want songs, they'll write their own songs with the music included. They'll write their own script. They'll pick who they want to be in that play or in that musical, and then they'll perform that at the end of that camp. So that's something that we're also creating, that hopefully we'll have fine-tuned by the end of the month. And we have a bunch of different, jazz band, rock band, R&B band, hip hop bands that we're unveiling in the summer to, get ready for our fall academic year.
Okay, and once all that is together, do you have any venues set up here locally where people can go and see them perform?
Yes, we actually have a performance venue inside our school. We call it the Arc.
Okay,
So it's a very small music venue. It fits about, comfortably about 15 to 25 people.
okay.
So, it's a very intimate, small setup. So it definitely will be publicizing that very soon of when you can come and see our students perform.
That sounds good to me, man. And one final word from you. Why should young kids get involved with music and the arts?
Music is so detrimentally important to becoming a person, I believe. Music is woven through our identity, it's woven through our DNA, it's who we are. We are music, we are the arts. We can't live without it because most of us can't live without TV or social media or anything like that.
Tell
Um,
me about it.
so it's detrimentally important. So whether you're a singer, you're an actor, you're a dancer, you're a visual artist, whatever you are pertaining to the arts, we have a place for you. We have a teacher for you, and we have a home for you, and we love for you to become a part of our family. So come on down and join the Family Music Center. We're open, weekdays from 12 to 7, and on Saturdays from 9 to 4.
Well, I would certainly wish you a lot of luck. As I said, I've been passing your music store and I've been saying, look, you got to stop in here because it just looks interesting. This looks like a place where something is happening. So
Yes,
we wish you a lot of luck, man. I hope a lot of kids turn out for your
thank you.
band, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity to speak again.